Hey, restaurant owners. Today, I want to answer one of the most commonly asked questions by my clients, which is whether I should close early on my slow days or should I just close my restaurant on slow days because the labor cost is so high, virtually there's no sales. So should I just close my restaurant early on slow days? This used to be a very tough question to answer, but today I want to share a story with you about a gentleman called Paul Offalo. So Paul was a founder of Kinko's and now is more commonly known as FedEx. So Paul shared his story in one of his live speeches about how he wanted to transition his stores to 24 hours a day. But none of his executives would go along with it because all the data, all the figures showing that from midnight to 6 a.m., virtually there was no sales, right? No people would come in. So why would you do 24 hours a day? And Paul had no data to back him up, so he had to give up the ideas. Then one day he traveled to another city and he had a meeting with a bunch of other business owners, and among them there was a restaurateur, and that restaurateur shared his stories with Paul that he purchased a group of diners, and then that group of diners were all 24 hours a day, right? But when he went through the books of those restaurants, then he realized that from midnight to 6 a.m. virtually they only did like $100 a day for each store. So he figured that there's no point doing 24 hours a day. So when he opened up new stores, those new stores weren't 24 hours a day. But then thing turned out to be like that those new stores, the sales for the new stores were much less than those original 24-hour stores, right? So but he couldn't figure out why, but he decided to do a bit of experiment and turn one of his new stores to 24-hour day. And then that's where the magic happened. From after a month or so after he turned the new store to 24-hour day, the sales just doubled. Right? And he couldn't figure out why, so he shared a story with Paul, and the light bulb just went off in Paul's head. And he shared this story with his executives when he got back to the headquarters. And they decided to let him to do a bit of test with those new stores. So he turned those new stores into 24-hour day, right? And that's where the magic happened again. Those sales doubled in a couple months' time, and he did again. The same thing happened. The sales all increased significantly. And then he shared the survey that he did with his patrons, and the patrons just loved the fact that they could count on FedEx. Like every time when they need anything, they were there for them. So every time they drove by, the light was on. Every time they drove by, the light was on. Just in case they need anything, FedEx will be there, and they can count on it. They can count on FedEx. So the same thing applies to restaurants. So generally speaking, I wouldn't suggest you to cut back hours or close early on slow days, or close on slow days. And what you can do is you can offer something special, right? You can do a special, you can offer something cool, like for one of my clients who is running a high-end steakhouse, right? So what he did was he grind all his meat from weekends and turned them into homemade burgers, right? Turn them into homemade burgers that they were only available on Mondays, and now Monday is the busiest day of the week for them. So this is my opinion about whether to close early on slow days, and I would love to hear your thoughts in this topic.